Black women, um, I wanted to let you guys know that, okay, today's the 18th, so we've got less than 2 weeks before February 1st, okay? So you've got 2 weeks to do a very quick uh, packaging of your prep. You have to start prepping up really quickly. So for those of you that have been following me for the past year, for those of you that have been listening to my videos and looking at all the links that I put up over the last year about, prepping stuff. Now let's assume that, you live in a Section 8 apartment, okay, or house, and you've been listening to my videos for the past year and you've prepped up. And for whatever reason, you get evicted, and you're going to be like, okay, what am I going to do with all this stuff that I've been prepping up with? What am I going to do with all this water and everything, right? And all the food that I have and all the stuff that I've been, stocking up on. If you have a car, I would probably say put as much of your ration, the stuff that you've been, building up your survival, survival prep stash. Put as much of it as you possibly can in your car. I also wanted to let you know that in your area, you might want to see if they have low affordable storage. You can use a self-storage and put a lot of the stuff that you've been stocking up the last year. You can put it in there. You can put it in there, and that way, you don't have to worry about, wasting all the stuff, throwing it away because, you're going to be out of an apartment or out of a home. You're still going to have food. You're still going to have supplies. You're still going to have, very important things that you're going to need. Hygiene kits, for example. If you have any pets, you're going to want to have pet food, all that stuff. Now, for the next 2 weeks, like I told you guys a couple of days ago, you want to start, exhausting the food pantries and the churches, because the federal government workers, if you looked at the link of the last video that I put up, I think the last two, you should already know that federal government workers are being encouraged to go to food banks, pantries, and to get harvest boxes. You need to be very aggressive, as I said before. You need to be very aggressive and get those harvest boxes. Go to the churches, get as many canned foods and other supplies. You want to do that. And see, the sad thing is that winter is, it's going to kick in. Like, there's a big storm coming in the East Coast, so you're really going to have to. You're going to have to really be very, very. What's the word I want to use? You're going to have to be very assertive in trying to get ready. Even if you don't get evicted from your apartment, you're still going to have to be prepared, because let's say, for example, your landlord decides, he or she's gonna have a good heart, and they're not gonna kick you out. They're gonna, you still pay your end of the rent, but they're not gonna kick you out. You still have to be very careful, because you're gonna have a lot of desperate people out there. They're gonna be, really hard up for food and water and other supplies. And that's why I told you before to keep your mouth shut. You don't want your neighbors to know what you're holding. You don't want your neighbors to know that you have ration in your home, in your apartment. Now, if you have a car and you live in an apartment and you got a lot of stuff that you've been, storing up, put some of it in your trunk. You want to be very discreet about that. You don't want people to know what you have. It's very important that, like I said before, you want to see if you can get yourself a low affordable self-storage, where you can put a lot of your food and your supplies and other things in. I hope that you guys have been, you took my advice and you got your firearm. I'm gonna tell you right now, you better have a firearm, because it's gonna be really bad out there. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna get really, really, really bad. Even if, the shutdown lasts until March, a lot of people are not going to budget their food stamp money. They're not gonna they're gonna use it all up, and you got to be prepared for that. You got to make sure that you do your part to be very frugal in how you use your remaining food stamps, right? You also want to make sure, as I said before, you want to make sure that you go to all the food banks, to churches. You want to make phone calls. Come Monday morning, you need to be very, very assertive. You need to make phone calls and find out which churches in your area are going to be giving out canned goods. You really want to focus on canned goods and dry goods and canned goods and dry goods. That's really, really important. If you have like, $15 in cash, go to the dollar store, go to the 99-cent store, and just stock up on soap, detergent, toothpaste, tampons, whatever you're going to need to sustain you. Because I'm telling you right now, the stores are, a lot of them are going to get looted. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of people are going to get looted. They're not going to have any money. Also, I was on social media and I was like on different sites, and I'm telling you, there's already talk about people that are going to be selling their food stamps for cash. So a lot of people are not going to have food money. They're not going to have food stamps. They're going to be selling it for money. So they're going to be very destitute. They're going to be very desperate. It's going to be really bad. I was on a social media site, and there were some people also that were saying that people that use their cash aid to support their drug habit. A lot of people are going to be fiending for drugs. So that's going to increase crime, a home invasion, a robbery, all kinds of shit. If you have expensive jewelry, keep that shit off. Don't, when you go out in public, you want to look as poor as possible. You don't want to look like you've got anything of value on you. A lot of people are going to start snatching chains off people's necks. They're going to be just straight up robbing. Unless you work at night, you really don't want to be out at night. That's not going to be good. I know I'm probably sounding overly dramatic, but you have to understand what we're up against right now. You have a lot of people that are going to be out of work and out of luck, and they're going to be, just desperate. So I also want you guys to consider, if you live in an apartment, you might want to get yourself an extra lock. If you can afford it, it's about maybe, $10. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, get yourself a lock and put it on your door. You want to keep a low profile. You want to be careful not walking around with groceries also. You want to do most of your shopping, in the morning. If you can, if it's possible, if you can afford it, you might want to, instead of taking the bus home or taking the subway home, you might want to get an Uber. That might be better, because I'm telling you right now, you don't want to be seen walking around with groceries. People are going to be robbing. It's going to be really, really bad out there. Excuse me. I'm getting better. I'm slowly getting better. So just bear with me. There was some other stuff that I wanted to let you guys know, but I'm going to hold off on that until tomorrow. I want to get some more information before I give that to you. But today's the 18th, and February 1st is like, it's 2 weeks away, so you don't have a lot of time. Start making phone calls, right? Like come Monday morning. Everything's pretty much going to be kind of shut down over the weekend, but come Monday morning, all next week you need to be gathering up canned goods, dry goods, canned goods, going to the 99-cent store, stocking up. I put some information on the how to live off the grid. If you find yourself evicted from your apartment, you can keep some of your ration, as I said before, in a self-storage, and then when you get to a safe place where you can put up your your yutra, that tent. You'll be able to bring some of that, in with you. But you're going to have to be very careful because these are going to be dark times. Also, I didn't know this, but I think that this Sunday, it's a wolf moon coming, and that's not good. It's going to be a lot of crazy acting people out there. A lot of people are going to get desperate and crazy. So just watch your back and be real careful. Be careful who you talk to. Don't let anybody know that you're prepping. Just be very cautious who you talk to. Make sure you you keep your doors locked. Make sure that you try not to be out at night. If you're a female, don't want to be out at night. It's going to be really bad. So take care, and I'll keep you abreast. I'm out.